Gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Oh, but Somalian hangs a piece done at A17. Cobra, just one Tetris will do it and gets it over. Set up to 968. Gonna take a burn. Somalian hangs the bar. Takes a double. Gets a triple. That triple's good enough. Oh, doesn't get that Z over. Somalian gonna be done at 331. Which means that Cobra is gonna be good.
But both players are ready. Let's go ahead and start off Wednesday Warzone with this match and count things down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And I have good news. They are on the same seed. We have the identical pieces coming down, so we're off to a fantastic start. And we're going to get to know Gwafey a little bit, our player on the left. You may have seen him at such live events as CTWC 2025, where he finished in the top 16. And you may have also seen Gwafey at CTWC Toronto. In both tournaments, he ended up losing to Meme, but Gwafey has made a long, deep run in both of those events. In addition, Gwafey is a CTM Futures winner. Got quite the match history, having started play about 3 years ago. June of 2022 was the first time we saw Gwafey online. Played Rory in an Eat My Elo match, won it in a decider. Then did some CTMs. And joined CTL in Division 3A back in 2024. But right now, dealing with a little gunk in the stack. See that left side needs to get cleared out, and that'll open up the right well. We are about 30 lines in. 126,000 for Gwafey, 143,000 for Phloxae. But these players are dealing with an immense drought over here. Where is the long bar? It shows up. Phloxae not able to use it for a Tetris, but that was about a 32-piecer. But she's going to get one now. Tetris for her. About a third of the way to 19. 450k the pace for Gwafey. About 510k the pace for Phloxae in this one. These are both players who did attend CTWC this past year, so you know they can compete on the biggest stage. And we're hoping to see some great action between these two in this one. As was mentioned in the intro, they have actually played once before. And that was in CT Arcadian. That was back in April of 2025. The 15th edition, and Gwafey won that one. It was a best of 3 in a decider. Took it 2-1. This game is fairly close. Right now, we're about 75 or so lines in. 313,000 for Gwafey, 339,000 for Phloxae. Gwafey gets the Tetris. And we are currently sitting with about a 1 Tetris gap in the score. Nesby commenting on that one. Best of 3, schmest of 3. We like our best of 5s in CTL. Both players looking pretty good so far. Despite a little bit of early struggle in the beginning stages of the game, Gwafey's got a solid board. They're both Tetrising around a 70% rate, so they're on track for a good game. And question in the chat, is Dangler playing? No, Dangler is not playing, at least not tonight. All right, and the thoughts on best of threes being shown in the chat. If you prefer best of three, you're a bot. I do kind of like best of five better than best of three. It kind of normalizes things out. If I find time in a later game, I'll go ahead. We'll have some ramblings and some deep thoughts on that. Ooh, and that's actually a compelling argument. The documentary is called Best of Five, so it should be a best of five. That's a very good point. But we are approaching that level 19 transition. 525k for Gwafey, 571k for Phloxae. So on track for 600ks out of both of them. And Winter following up with bonus information. Dangler isn't playing in this season of CTL. That is correct. And now into 19 goes Phloxae, 618,000. A very good transition for her. Gwafey does have 2 more Tetrises available, but only if he doesn't burn any lines. Actually, no. I thought that was 125, not 126. He goes in at 596k, still a dang good score as far as I'm concerned. But now the board is getting high for Phloxae. Will she be able to get out of this? It's going to take some great work. No, she is not, and she is topped out. Gwafey, your chase down score does not matter because you just got it. 645,000 takes game number 1. Tetris. So now on to game number 2. We introduce ourselves to Gwafey in the first one. It's time to get to know our competitor on the right, Phloxae, who you may also know as Violet. As mentioned, she also competed at CTWC, finished top 48 last year. She's done a few other tournaments, including CT UK the past couple of years, and CT Austria in 2025. And as far as games outside of Tetris, I can also mention that she is into Minecraft and Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, circling back to that CTWC result, I went to go ahead and pull it up and then decided not to cooperate with me. You hate to see it. But let's get that back up here. So she played Heps in the first round and lost 3 games to 1. And also competed in not only the Adam Irish Experience Live, but in both online tournaments. So Phloxae, no stranger to whether it's in-person or online Tetris competition. Right now, we're nearing 40 lines through in game number 2. It is Gwafey with the current, well, no longer with the lead. Violet, a.k.a. Phloxae, with the lead, 207,000 to 186,000. But both players dealing with a little bit of a drought there. That was about 22 pieces. And they're both on paces over 600,000 at this early stage of the game. You look at that Tetris rate, 94% for Phloxae. Only 55% for Gwafey. I feel like that number is a bit off considering the score. But I could be wrong. Especially considering they're only a handful of lines apart, maybe about 6 or so lines apart, and now Gwafey has taken the lead as Phloxae is doing a little bit of burning here up top. She'll need at least 4 more burns to open up that well. Meanwhile, Gwafey pulling out to a 650,000 transition pace halfway to 19. And Phloxae still sitting there in the burn unit, trying to get this well opened. Thankfully, or not thankfully, depending on your perspective, it's been a drought. A 29-piecer as she gets a Tetris right when the well opens up and follows up with another. But Gwafey still maintaining that lead as we're at 80 lines. 400,000 now thanks to a toastress. 400,000 for Gwafey, 338,000 for Phloxae. That lead is 60,000 points at the moment. There was a solid tuck there by Phloxae, but just not able to get the additional pieces to get the most efficiency. So she'll take a couple more burns, but get that well opened up. Meanwhile, Gwafey firing off another Tetris. 447k to 369,000. We are nearing the turn. Both players around 95 lines, but a Tetris for Phloxae. She is near 400,000 points herself. Both players are remaining relatively even. Not in terms of the raw score, as Gwafey is up by about 3.5 Tetrises, but Phloxae has kept even with Gwafey probably over the last 40 or so lines. Gwafey hasn't been able to add to this lead, but Phloxae hasn't been able to take anything away from it either. And we've got another drought. The all-number seed has come back to haunt us. And we'll see if our players can get out of this. Phloxae up high, Gwafey up high, but the well is open. It's now open for both players, and a Tetris into transition, 498,000 for Phloxae. He is on to 19 speeds, as is Gwafey. Gets a Tetris just after transition, now at 600,000 points. That lead just over 3 Tetrises. Now a gap there in column number 3 for Phloxae. She's waiting for a long bar. It's not showing up, and now she's going to have to burn up high. Gets the 5 tap of the long bar over. She'll need an L piece or a long bar there in columns 8 and 9. She gets exactly that. So still fighting to stay alive here. Slowly but surely getting this board down. Another successful 5 tap of that long bar, and just not out of the woods, but it's looking a little better here. Meanwhile, Gwafey has grown this lead. Now it's at 5.5 Tetrises, 760,000 to 598,000. And we're just seeing some really good survival here from Phloxae. She's not been able to get that right well open, but despite whatever RNG is throwing at her, she is standing pat and still managing to bring this board down. Really great work on her part. One more good piece and that well's going to be open. Of course, she doesn't get what she needs. Unfortunate, as Gwafey's over 900,000 points. 908 to 624 as Phloxae is in this endless dig, just trying to stay alive. The well is almost open. And now it is open, and oh, she would absolutely love a long bar. And there it is. Tetris for Phloxae. She survives a dig that seems like it was about 50 lines. And now maybe we'll be able to get back to scoring some points here. Meanwhile, Gwafey, during this whole time, he's built up this lead. It's over 300,000 points. He's got the max out, 1.03 million to 708,000. And he's also behind in the line count, 208 to 216, as Phloxae gets a Tetris, 743k her score on level 27. Gwafey with a 1.1 and on very good track to pull out a 1.2 if the pieces cooperate with him. There's another Tetris, 1.17, and there is the 1.2. He's got potentially 2 more Tetrises to get before the kill screen as Phloxae goes in. 884,000 into kill screen. She's still got 100 lines to work with, but she's trailing by nearly 300,000 points. 923 to 1.2. And Gwafey wants that additional Tetris. He wants one more, but he's not going to get it. Goes into kill screen at 1.243 and another Tetris. He's going for the D on the screen. He wants the 1.3. Meanwhile, Phloxae trying to at least get a max out here. 975. Tetris for Gwafey, 1.3. And the board's falling apart for Violet. She's going to need a 5-tap. She does get the 5-tap. But she won't get that 5-tap, and it's going to fall apart. And she tops out at 982,000. Meanwhile, Gwafey, he's already taken game number 2, but he's got a 1.4 on the board. And he hangs a piece trying to get a few more points out of it. But hey, a 1.4 for Gwafey. Tetris. E as in establishmentarianism. Is that a player in the database? Now I'm going to check. Gwafey, you've misled me. That player is not in the database. Ooh, SV with a real head scratcher. Do I eat the whole Domino's tonight, or do I not eat it tonight and save some for work tomorrow? Let's ask the important question, SV. What kind of pizza is it? That may influence the decision. And a marvelous creation. Go on, I'm listening. But while SV is telling us about this delicious pizza, wanted to take some time talking about best of 3 versus best of 5. I am in favor of best of 5 for matchups. I started to mention it normalizes because a best of 3, in a sense, tends to favor the lower seed. And you can decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the way I see it, you add another game into the series, it reduces the chance of fluke victories, where all of a sudden in a best of 3 you have this fluke top up because you had a terrible seed or whatever factor. The next thing you know, you've got to play flawless for 2 games now. And it just means the better player may not necessarily win. Whereas something like that is not as likely to happen in a best of 5. But you may also have the perspective that you like the chaos. And a best of 3 matchups definitely do invite that chaos. So your mileage may vary, but I'm a fan of best of 5. Plus it means more Tetris, and how can you say no to more Tetris? Oh, okay. And we've got some pizza updates, so time to return to the snack zone. And before we do that, let's do a score check. 231,000, make it 254 for Gwafey with the Toastress, 251,000 for Phloxae, so we're basically even, about 4,000 points of separation as we're nearing 50 lines cleared. But this pizza, aside from one part for me personally, that pizza does sound pretty amazing, SV. Pepperoni, spicy sausage, bacon, onion, and a barbecue base. You take out the onions. If you don't eat that whole thing tonight, I'm going to eat the whole thing tonight. And I'm not hungry. But we are halfway to 19. 650K is the current pace for Violet. And about 660 for Gwafey over here. But Gwafey taking a bit of a line advantage here. 78 now to 73. Also has the raw score lead, 395K to 375K. Phloxae is needing a victory to prolong this game. Gwafey with the win will take it in a sweep. Ooh, and I'm not sure if that was by design what Phloxae did there, but it ended up working out beautifully for her. Like I said, I'm not sure if that was a hang or if that was just a delayed burn setup, but she managed to get the pieces she needed, and it only took a couple of burns to solve that, so beautifully done on her side. Meanwhile, Gwafey just continuing to keep the pressure on, 511,000 at 100 lines. Phloxae sitting 449k, gonna get a Tetris 472 as she approaches 100 lines cleared. And I don't know if it's just me. It might just be me, but if it's not, feel free to let me know. It seems like nearly every time I look at the counter in the lower left for Gwafey, right for Phloxae, in the lower corners of their board, seems like I'm always seeing the drought counter go up. It might just be me, but it seems as though there's been a lot of droughty seeds here in this matchup as Gwafey goes in. That's a 675,000 transition. My goodness, Gwafey. That's one of the biggest ones I've witnessed on a live stream before. Meanwhile, Violet, she's having a good game of her own. She could get very close to that as well. There is a Tetris. If she gets one more, which she will, it's going to be a 659,000. So 2 very good scores into level 19. The Tetris for Phloxae, 684k, about to enter level 20, gets another Tetris 710. He only trails by about 3 Tetrises, but Gwafey is about 15 lines ahead in the sequence on my screen. 836k for him, 737 for Phloxae as she goes into level 21. And these players are just raining down Tetrises. This has the potential to be a very high-scoring game headed into kill screen, so keep your eyes peeled for some early max outs. It could happen. And also keep your eyes peeled for some bonkers kill screen scores. I mean, looking at Phloxae's board, as of right now, this is a 1.3 kill screen pace. This is amazing. And not to be outdone, Gwafey's on that same trajectory. So we could be seeing some very, very strong kill screen scores heading into level 29 here. Now, Gwafey going to have to do a little bit of burning here. Is about to get the max out. I believe any clear involving that long bar there in column number 8 will get it at this point. And there it is, max out for Gwafey just before level 26. So a level 25 max out for him, gets a dirty column 7 Tetris. And he's just going to bring that well back over to the right side. Meanwhile, Phloxae is set up for a Tetris. She's going to get one. And if she gets a Tetris right here, she'll also have the max out into level 26. Just waiting for that long bar to show up. And she's going to get the max out, 1.017 million. So a double max out. Both players getting it at or before level 26 here. And another Tetris for Phloxae. Gwafey waiting for the long bar. He's got 2 more Tetrises before the kill screen. There's one of them. He's got a 1.16. Will end up just short of a 1.2, I believe. 1.196 into kill screen for Gwafey. Waiting for the long bar. There it is. Excuse me. There is the 1.2 for him. Meanwhile, Phloxae has 3 potential Tetrises before 29. But that burn's going to take away one of them. Still on track for a solid 1.1 kill screen. And she's got it 1.145 into kill screen. Gwafey tops out. So Phloxae, you're in a chase down. You need 1.276 to take game number 3. And you got almost 100 lines to do it. Just under a 3 Tetris deficit that Phloxae needs to chase down. And assuming she does that, we're going to get a game number 4. Let's see what she can do. She needs something left. Gets the 5 tap of the T piece. But this drought is ferocious. 38 pieces and counting. And she can't get it over to the left. It shows up nearly 40 pieces later, but it's not going to be enough as Gwafey takes it 1.27 to 1.18 million and wins 3 games to 0. So congratulations to Gwafey. A winner is you. And sure enough, right as I go and congratulate him, the camera pops off. But it's all good.
Going into the level 20. Ooh, doesn't get that S all the way over. But has brought the stack down where he can deal with it. Oh, having to just take a couple burns. Skim off the top there.